I bring greetings. Today again we have this wonderful news. This is what we call taking over our father's land. Revolution is now. This is all about revolution in Africa. African countries are taking over their land. I think this should be the third or fourth African country under French authorities liberating themselves from the French authority or tyranny. This is Gabon. Today, Gabon is liberated from the hands and shackles of French government. You see, Gabon today has taken over from the Gabon military coup today took place, taken over from the what do I call him? I've forgotten his name. The government, the president that has been sworn in into the third term, or the third term. Yeah, this is the third term. So they are saying enough is enough, and this is revolution now. We'll be listening to the news in full.
Senior reporter Cyril Payan joins me on set for the latest on the situation in Gabon. And you've got some new information, Cyril.
Yeah, the news are developing very fast in Libreville. We now know that the President Ali Bongo was rumored to have fled in Morocco. This is totally unconfirmed because he's under arrest, under house arrest. Has been confirmed on national TV this morning.
And Ali Bongo, the governor, Ali Bongo, the governor, the former president, has been arrested and is now under house arrest.
His son has been arrested too. The National Election Commission president, the very one who announced the victory of Ali Bongo later at dawn, is arrested too. And we should have a face and a name for the new strongman of Gabon. This is the General Oliguen Nguema, which is a very powerful and well-known general among the army. He's the chief of the Republican Guard. He was a spy, very involved in the spying circles in Gabon. So it's not a surprise, but it looks like it's confirmation of the coup, and there is a new face as the head of state of Gabon as we speak.
So, Cyril, you know Gabon very well. You were just there 5 months ago with the French president, Emmanuel Macron, where he was very supportive of President Bongo. This is turning a bit into a diplomatic nightmare for him now.
Very, very much indeed. It was a lot of the French president really did capitalize on of President Bongo. He spent 4 days in Libreville organizing a summit. So it looks like at this time it was starting. We were talking about the elections. There were some people contesting, saying that the French are too involved, and this is the old tradition to be involved in these ultra-rich countries. And President Macron was trying to stop this kind of image, but it went very bad. And again, this is like a domino effect in this region. It's going very fast and brutally, and to the demise of the French, of course. So everybody has in mind this trip, and many people think he should have.
That was Emmanuel Macron happy with the president. He don't see anything with that man, Bongo Ali or Ali Bongo. I've forgotten. I don't know what his real name is. He don't have anything wrong or see anything wrong with him going into office for the third time. For the third time. He don't have any problem with that. He's okay. As long as they are milking Africa, as long as their pipe keeps flowing, they are okay. They don't care about what Africans are going through. They don't care about what the Gabonese are going through. They don't care about their welfare. They are only care. And problem and worries is just that it goes their way. Their pipe keeps flowing and they are taking over. That is it.
thought twice, maybe. So it's a very much a very political and diplomatic nightmare, as you said.
And not just in Gabon, because if this coup is indeed confirmed as a coup, it would be the 8th one in Africa in just 3 years.
Of course, of course. So everybody, all the diplomatic circles are pointing the fingers on these West African countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, Niger 1 month ago, and still going on. And again, this domino effect, which is very, very bad. President Macron just yesterday was quoted as saying this is an epidemic of putsch. The thing is, these putsch are not the same perpetrators, but the France is always used as a scapegoat in this matter because it's the old military lies, traditional colony also. But it's again, it's a very, very strong turn in the events and the diplomatic terrible fate for France, indeed.
Cyril, thank you for sharing your expertise with us. That's France 24's.
So now Africa is taking over. This is revolution. This is revolution. Revolution in full time. This is revolution going on in Africa. And I am going to let you see another full clip of what is going on in Africa. It's no longer a joke. It's no longer a joke. We move. Africa is atop of the game. On top of the game. Let's go. Listen to this.
We begin with breaking news in Gabon, where a group of military officers claim they have seized power in the Central African country. Gunfire has been reported in the capital, Libreville. The officers say the country's borders are now closed and all state institutions dissolved. In a televised address, they said Sunday's election, in which President Ali Bongo won a third term, lacked credibility. Tensions have been running high since the vote, with claims from the opposition of voting irregularities. So far, there's been no reaction to the announcement from the government. Our correspondent, Elisa Chakuma, is monitoring events in Gabon for us. He joins us from Lagos in Nigeria. Elisa, what more can you tell us about this coup and the people behind it?
Well, Terry, it's still trickling in. The big news this morning early in capital Libreville in Gabon, where we saw army officers, about 12 of them, coming out on national TV in the country to announce that they are putting an end to the regime, calling themselves the Committee for the Transition and Integration of Institutions. They've also talked about cancelling the elections, which was held on Saturday, and closing the borders and dissolving the government, the constitution, and also the parliament and the Senate. So that's the feelings we're getting right now from the capital Liberty in Gabon, where army officers, soldiers wearing the green beret, red beret, representing different factions of the defense forces, saying that they have put an end to the regime.
Any word yet on what's become of the elected government? Do we know where President Bongo is?
Well, Terry, that is a tricky part, because since these announcements from these army officers coming very early this morning, just after the electoral body had, said Ali Bongo won Saturday's elections, we are yet to hear from the government. We're yet to hear from Ali Bongo himself or from the military. They did not mention about his whereabouts or how he's doing. The last time we saw Ali Bongo, the president, was when he, made his vote on Saturday during the election. So there's been no word about his whereabouts so far from what we're getting.
Now, just a few weeks ago, of course, there was that coup in Niger.
The Ali Bongo is the supposed president of Gabon Republic, and the Ali Bongo is in the custody of the army that have taken over the country. The son and some of his officials are under house arrest. So fully, I don't know what the people are making about the news. France 24 or so many people are saying that some group of people are claiming to be militaries, that they have seized power. The truth is that they are not claiming to seize power or to have seized power. and they are not just any group of people. They are the military, Gabon military officers. They have taken over, and they made it clear that they've taken over, and that they have closed borders. And Ali Bongo, the president, is under their custody with some of his officials and his son, that they are under their custody, and they are going to take over and handle and reorganize the country until further notice. For now, it's a coup. Whether you like it or not, it's a military coup. I don't know what they are making. France don't like it. They can say it's they are claiming to be like France are saying that France is saying that they are claiming to take over. They have really taken over. It's not that they are claiming. They have taken over, and they are now in charge. Military is now fully in charge, 100% charge of the government of Gabon Republic.
Niger, do analysts in the region see any connection between these events?
Well, of course, Terry, that is what it's all pointing to. Just about a month ago, we had an issue in Niger with military junta taking over. And just, weeks then, you then have this morning as early, it's Gabon in Central Africa. So if you look at it, in West Africa and Central Africa, since 2020, Terry, combined coups, about 8 coups. Talk a little about the attempted coups reported in places like Guinea-Bissau. So you then have Mali under a military junta. You then have Burkina Faso, you have Guinea, you have the issue that we saw in Chad 2 years ago with Mohamed Idris Deby, and now Niger, and now Gabon in the Central African region. Lots to worry about in terms of for the AU, ECOWAS, and even the countries around the different regions in Africa right now.
Elisa, thank you very much for bringing us up to date. That was DW's Elisa Chukuma in Lagos. Let's get some European reaction to those developments in Gabon. We're joined now by...
And now you will see the reactions of European countries. They know they are losing it, or they know they've lost it already. They know that Africa have slipped out of their hands, and there is nothing they can do about it, other than to just hands up and peacefully remain good friends of Africa, or they want to come and fight against Africa. And if they do that, they cannot win. Europeans cannot keep subjecting Africa to perpetual suffering, bondage, poverty, and always running to give us help here and there. We don't need your help, Europeans. We don't need your help. We need freedom. And the freedom is what we are getting now. The freedom is the revolution that is coming to Africa. And the Biafra is one of these countries that are taking up everything it needs to take up to get free. And we are getting free. We are getting free. And we are getting free. Let's hear what the Europeans' reactions are. Let's listen.
Alexandra van Namen, our Brussels bureau chief. She's currently in Toledo in Spain, where EU defense ministers are meeting. Alexandra, what are we hearing from EU leaders about what appears to be a coup in Gabon?
Well, we asked EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, about his assessment of the situation in Gabon. And you could tell that he was really concerned about the situation. He said that the topic is definitely on the agenda of the ministers' meeting here in Toledo. And he also stressed that if confirmed, this coup would be another evidence how increasingly unstable the situation in the region is becoming. And that is, of course, a reason to be worried for the European Union and its ministers after the coup in Mali, now Gabon, and many analysts are saying that the European Union is losing its influence in the region and that they urgently need a new strategy for the Sahel.
Now, this apparent coup in Gabon comes just weeks after another military takeover in Niger. Both these countries are former French colonies. You mentioned EU influence in the region. France is particularly involved. What does this mean for France?
Well, France is definitely in a unique situation here as a former colonial power in the region, and they still have troops across the region fighting there against Islamists. We have seen the military junta in Mali, for instance, in Niger, targeting France in particular, and also calling on the French ambassador to leave the country. So there is also a growing criticism when it comes to French strategy for the region. But so far we heard from the French president, Emmanuel Macron was quite defiant, defending the French policy there and saying that it was actually France that had so far prevented the growth of Islamistic movements in the region. But the criticism is growing, as I said, and of course we have to see how the discussion will be progressing here during the meeting of the defense and later on foreign ministers of the European Union, and what kind of proposal we will see on the table.
Alexander, thank you very much. That was DW's Alexander from...
Now, let's wait and see the proposal they are bringing to the table. But I must tell you the truth. No amount of proposal is bringing France back into Niger, into Gabon, and there's so many other African countries that this coup have taken place. And I don't see any other thing in this but to tell you that it's a revolution. European Union is losing it. They have lost African, is it a friendship or what? How do I say? They are losing out their grip on Africa, and Africa is now taking it up upon themselves to live up to expectation. This is what Africans should have done long ago, but they did not do it. It's up to African countries to take up their lives back from whoever is in keeping their life. We must stand up and take up our lives. We don't have to allow anybody to control our life. They control the way you live, the way you move, the way you breathe, and they are quick to give you assistance, lend you money, give you reliefs, give you food, give you clothes. And where are they making this money from? The money they are lending to African countries is being realized from the things they stole from African countries, and they will still lend it to you, and you will still owe them. Africans, welcome. Welcome now.